people, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and welcome to today's video. So today's video is going to be a newborn's essential video. How many times can I say video in that sentence? I don't know, but anyway, this is going to be everything that you need to buy for a newborn. If you got told today you are going to have a baby tomorrow, this is what you would need to run out and buy tonight. I just thought I'd do this. This has been highly requested on my Instagram as well. I did a poll and this got the most votes. I think it was like near on 100 people voted for a newborn's essential video. So here it is. I just want to say as well, I do apologise if the lighting is a little bit crap in this video. I don't actually like it myself, but I'm actually filming this at about 7 o'clock in the evening after the boys have gone to bed. So that is why, and this is the best lighting I can get at the moment. I do prefer natural daylight, but this is the best I'm going to get, so I'm rolling with it. So like I said, this is actually going to be a newborn essentials video, not a baby essentials video. This is everything that you need for a newborn, for probably the first 3 months, I would say, but everything you need for those first few weeks as well. So let's start off with the basics. Nappies. Now, don't get sucked in and think the most expensive brands are the best. They're not. They all do exactly the same thing, especially for newborns. I personally prefer the Tesco's own brand. I did with my first son as well, and I'm reusing them again with my second. A lot of people rate Aldi nappies. I personally don't like them, but I found they did smell. They didn't leak, but the smell I wasn't too keen on. But yeah, I do really love Tesco's own brand, so don't get sucked in thinking that you need the most expensive brand on the shelf, because you don't. They all do the same thing. I do really rate Pampers Pants for when they get older, but when they're newborns, honestly, you're going to be changing them so often, it doesn't even matter what you use. And on the same subject of nappies, 100% you need a Nappy Caddy. I recommend having 2. I have a nappy station in the bedroom for during the night, and I have one in the living room as well. I'll insert something here showing you. This just keeps all your nappies, your wipes, your nappy bags, dummies, anything you need in one place. And I recommend having 2, because obviously you need one for the night feeds and one in the room that you're going to spend most of the day in, which is probably going to be the living room. I got mine from Amazon. I'll try and leave the link below if I can still find it, but it was very cheap. I think it was around £10, if that. Do not order the ones from eBay. I ordered the ones from eBay and the quality was shocking. I would 100% recommend ordering from Amazon, and you can check the reviews as well so you can see what one you're getting. The next thing that I would recommend as an essential are water wipes. This saves you faffing around with good old-fashioned cotton wool and water. Who wants to keep getting up and getting bowls of water and using cotton wool? Cotton wool seems to disintegrate into nothing as well when it's wet, and honestly I find it so messy. Water wipes are like 99% water and 1% fruit extract, so they're completely safe to use for newborns. I put these in my hospital bag, and I did carry on using them for about 2 months after Chase was born. I don't use them anymore because Chase is nearly 3 months now, and I don't feel like I have to use water wipes, but for those early days I would 100% recommend them. They are on the little pricier side, but you know what you're getting and you know they are safe for your baby. So the next thing is clothes. You do not need to overbuy for a newborn. A lot of people do say like you're going to be going through outfits like no tomorrow, but that is not true, honestly. I still to this day at nearly 3 months keep chasing the same outfit overnight and throughout the day, because it's just clean. They're a baby, they're a little newborn, they're not going anywhere unless they're sick and it goes on them. There's nothing wrong with keeping that same baby girl on them for like 2 days. If it's clean, just stick with it. It saves you in washing. Yeah, you do not need to overbuy. As much as those little outfits are cute, don't get me wrong, buy some outfits if you want to buy outfits, but they're a little newborn. They're the most comfortable in sleep suits, and it's easier to change them as well. It's going to keep them comfortable. And shoes. Newborns do not need shoes, trust me. They look cute, but they're not essential. So do not waste your money. It's not worth it. And they grow so quickly. They're probably going to outgrow them literally within a week. So it is recommended that babies sleep in the same room as you for the first 6 months of their life. So my next essential is definitely a Snuzpod or a next to me crib. Honestly, this is a lifesaver. We bought a Snuzpod when I got pregnant with my first son Brody, and we kept it, and we're now reusing it with our second son Chase. It is the best investment. It's so handy. It basically goes on the side of your own bed, and you can put the side down and they're right next to you, but safely next to you instead of in your bed. And it's just so handy in the night to like lean over to comfort them, to pick them up, to feed them, to change them. Honestly, I have my nappy stuff and my Snuzpod together. And yeah, if you're breastfeeding as well, you won't even have to get out of the bed. And if their dummy falls out, you can literally just pop it straight in. You haven't even got to move much in the bed. So I would 100% recommend a next to me crib. It is 100% better than a Moses basket as well. I just feel like Moses baskets, they outgrow within like 2 weeks. I don't even know what it is with Moses baskets. They just don't seem to last long. So yeah, I would 100% recommend a next to me crib. My next product is a bit of a controversial one. It's a Sleepyhead. Is it an essential? Probably not, but it's a nice to have, especially in the early days. I keep ours in our living room. I put it on our sofa and Chase will just lay in that throughout the day. If he wants to have a nap, then I'll put him in the Sleepyhead on the sofa. It's just a safe place for them to lay. Like I said, I don't bother with Moses baskets because they don't last, but I feel like this product really does last. We purchased this 3 years ago or over 3 years ago now, with our firstborn, and we kept it and we're reusing it again. It is pricey, but it does last. I have washed that cover probably 1,000 times and it's still in perfect condition. Yeah, so you are definitely going to get your money's worth, especially if you're going to have multiple babies. It's definitely an investment, and it's really good for in the early days to just keep them snug, and it's just a nice place for them to lay. So my next essential is white noise. Newborns especially love white noise. I mean, newborns sleep anyway, but sometimes they are quite unsettled with wind and stuff like that, so white noise really does help them drift back off to sleep. Do you have to go out and buy all these expensive devices that play white noise? Absolutely not. There's plenty of free white noise on YouTube which are ad-free. So if you don't want to go out and buy a white noise machine, you can use YouTube. I use YouTube all the time for white noise. We do thunderstorms, we do shushing, we do rain, anything like that. You can just find on YouTube ad-free. You can also find apps on your phone which play white noise. You can even use a hairdryer. Hairdryer is a brilliant white noise for newborns. So yeah, it doesn't have to be expensive, but they absolutely love white noise. So you're obviously going to need a pram to transport this little human around. What one you go for completely depends on your budget. They all kind of do the same thing when you think about it. But if you're a first-time mum, I would 100% recommend a travel system. I had a travel system with my first son and it was brilliant. A travel system basically means you get the pram, the carry cot and the car seat all in one package, and you can just clip the car seat on the chassis of the pram. Yeah, I would 100% recommend getting that if you're a first-time mum. But yeah, it completely depends on your budget of what you go for. My first pram was a £1,200 Stoke and it got stolen and I never got the money back for that. My second pram, I literally bought a £500 Silver Cross wafer off Amazon and they do exactly the same thing. So yeah, don't think you have to have the best, most expensive pram, because you don't. I actually prefer the Silver Cross over the Stoke. So there you go. On the same theme of prams, if you're a second-time mum, I would 100% recommend the Doona Car Seat, especially if you have little ones that are in school, in preschool, nursery, and you drive. This, honestly, this product has saved my life. I don't know what I would do without it. So a Doona is basically a car seat that converts into a stroller, and you can use it with an ISOFIX base, or you can use it with a seatbelt. I personally use it with a seatbelt because Chase is normally in the front car with me most of the time, because it's a bit of a squeeze to put him in the back of our car. So I do have him in the front with the airbag turned off. But honestly, I would hands down, if you're a second-time, third-time mum, to get a Doona. It will save you so much time. I use it for the school run. For me, is just an absolute lifesaver. I just take him out, put the wheels down, drop Brody off at school, and then come back, flip the wheels up and put him back into the car. There's no getting the pram chassis out and clipping on the car seat. Even if you're a first-time mum and you want to buy this, go for it. I really wish I did have it with my first, but for second and third babies, absolutely is so much easier. So you are obviously going to need to bath your newborn at some point. So I actually use the Angel Care bath seat. I find this better than a baby bath because I feel like they will outgrow a baby bath really fast, whereas the seat, you can just use it in your own bath, and it kind of grows with them up until around 6 months. I think you can use it. And yeah, we bought this with my first and we kept it to use with our second. The Angel Care one is mold resistant, I think. So it is still in perfect condition 3 years later. Yeah, and the other thing with a baby bath, I always worry like when they get older, if they're gonna like tip out of it when they start moving. So yeah, I do recommend you get a bath seat if you can. Obviously if you only have a shower, then a baby bath is probably best for you, but I would 100% recommend a bath seat if you do have a bath. And also it means that they can bath with siblings as well, which is quite nice. So I do normally bath Brody and Chase together. So yeah, and it means you have both hands free as well, so you don't have to hold them up in a bath. So that is very handy. Again, you are probably going to need a baby monitor, especially if you want to quickly have a shower. I find that's what I use baby monitors for the most, is when I want to have a shower and I don't want to think that I'm hearing phantom cries in the shower. Do they have to be expensive? No, you can get all different ones. Again, it completely depends on your budget. We personally use the Amazon Blink camera. It goes with the Amazon Show. So if you have an Amazon Show, you can just buy the Blink camera. I think it's like £60 and it works exactly the same as a baby monitor. It comes with an app. 100% recommend getting one which does have an app on your phone. The ones with a screen are great. I had one of those with Brody, but I do recommend getting one with an app on your phone, just so you can walk around the house, and I carry my phone around me all the time, I don't know about anyone else, and you can check on your baby. So yeah, and get one that sends alerts to your phone as well when there's movement, because you're not obviously going to be looking at the monitor all the time. You're probably going to be watching TV or something, so get one that has an alert, so when they start crying, when they start moving, it will alert you and let you know. My next essential is definitely an essential, and it is muslin cloths. You can never have enough muslins. Honestly, ask any parent out there, they will tell you, buy like 5,000 muslins. Honestly, you can use these for anything. I use them for Brody sometimes and he's free. I use them for myself sometimes. They're good for wiping up spit up. They're good for using when feeding, and you can wipe the milk from their mouth. Yeah, I just use them for everything. I use them instead of bibs as well, especially in the newborn stage. You do not need bibs for a newborn. You literally just put this around like on their chest while you're feeding, and it works the same as a bib. Unless you have a sicky baby, then obviously invest in some bibs. But if your baby is fine and is not sicky, then just use muslins. So the next thing you are going to need is a changing mat. Newborns love to just fire poop across the room. I don't know what it is in those early days, but they just love to fire as soon as you open up that nappy. So get a cheap one. It doesn't have to be expensive. I only ever use the ones from Tesco's, which are like £10, and they've done the trick, honestly. I've had one with Brody and now one with Chase. They're easy to wipe clean, they're easy to sanitize. They can be a bit cold, but if it really bothers you that much, just put a muslin down. Again, another use for a muslin. Just lay a muslin down and change them on top of the muslin. You don't have to get a fancy expensive changing mat, honestly, just get a cheap one. My next essential is the Tommy Tippy prep machine. Oh my god, for bottle feeding parents, this is amazing. Honestly, if you are planning on formula feeding and bottle feeding and you haven't bought this yet, go and buy it. The old-fashioned way of boiling the kettle and waiting half an hour for that water to cool down when you've got a screaming baby, it's not on, trust me. Buy a prep machine. I have had both. I've had the old one and the new one. I would 100% recommend just buying the old one. It's half the price. It does exactly the same thing, and in my opinion, if you follow me on Instagram, you would know it's 100 times better than the new one. Just honestly, they do the same thing. They both make up a bottle in the exact same time. Yeah, just buy the old one, please. Do not waste your money on the new one. But yeah, this is an absolute godsend, especially for night feeds. Literally, it makes a bottle in like a minute or 2 minutes. Yeah, you can literally just press that button, it makes the bottle, and then you feed your baby and you can go back to sleep. No waiting half an hour for kettle water to cool down. We don't do that, trust me. Buy a prep machine. And to go with that, I would 100% recommend getting milk dispensers. So these are little pots that you put formula in, and you literally just put your scoops of formula in and it's pre-measured out. I personally love the Tommee Tippee ones, just because they're single ones, so there's no faffing with like a lid of turning it round and like getting it out. They're just single shot ones. You put the lid off, you bang it into the bottle, done. Yeah, but you haven't got to get the Tommee Tippee ones. You can just, there's loads out there, honestly. You can get Dr. Brown's ones, you can get Man ones. I just personally love the Tommee Tippee ones, and this just saves when you're making up a bottle and you're half asleep, you lose count of how many scoops you've done. None of that. You just pre-do it when you're awake, and so when you do come to make a bottle, it's all pre-measured out. Obviously, if you are formula feeding, your baby is going to need bottles. I would 100% again recommend Man bottles. They are self-sterilising, they're anti-colic, and they're just great. I don't know what it is about the teats. My babies have just loved them. My babies hated Tommee Tippee bottles but loved Man bottles. I love Man bottles as well because you can sterilise them in the microwave. I have not bought a steriliser this time. I feel like they're an eyesore on the counter anyway. You have to clean them, you have to descale them. Buy Man bottles, just pop them in the microwave. One bottle is 3 minutes. For each additional bottle is an extra minute. So I have 6 bottles and it's 8 minutes in the microwave. Done, sterilised. And I just make them up and I just keep them next to the prep machine. And I just use them throughout the day. You can also get a cold water steriliser as well and keep the bottles in there throughout the day, but I just find it so much easier to put them in the microwave for 8 minutes, bring them out, make them up and just keep them on the side. As quickly as I'm sterilising them, I'm using them. Glow in the dark dummies. Honestly, so many people still don't know about glow in the dark dummies. They are so handy, especially throughout the night. Literally, you can just leave them on the windowsill and the sun will charge them up, or you can get the flashlight on your phone and just blast it onto the dummy for like a minute and it will just glow for like a few hours. But if your baby loses a dummy in the night, you can see it glowing in the cot, so you can easily find it and pop it back in. So the brand that I use are Mam. I don't even know if you can get other ones, but the ones I use are from Mam. They're orthodontic correct as well, so your baby shouldn't get dummy teeth when they're using a dummy. And yeah, you can never have enough dummies anyway, but glow in the dark ones will be a lifesaver, especially for night feeds. They also come in a case which can be sterilised in. So again, you just put a little bit of water in and you put them in the microwave for 3 minutes and they're sterile for 48 hours in the case. So you can literally just pop these in your changing bag. A bouncer or a swing chair. Again, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. But my first son hated the bouncer, but my second son loves the bouncer. But it is just something nice to have, so it's just another position to keep them in basically. So instead of them being laid down flat all day, you can put them in the bouncer so they sit up a little bit and they can see the world. And especially when they start getting a little bit more alert, it's quite nice for them to be able to sit up and like look around. Yeah, so just get one that's lightweight that you can pick up and move around with one hand, because 9 times out of 10 you're probably going to have the baby in one hand and trying to pick something up for them to go in with the other. So just get one that's lightweight, has a bouncing motion or a swing motion, just to like help them go back to sleep, help to comfort them. So yeah, I would 100% recommend getting a bouncer chair or a swing chair. Now this is a new one for me with my second son, is a carrier. I never had a carrier with my first. I didn't feel like I needed one. But again, like the Doona Car Seat, I feel like the things like going on a walk, walking around the park, taking your older kids to the park, having a carrier is so much easier than pushing the buggy around. Especially if you have quite young children anyway and you're running around the park with them. It's so much easier to have the baby on your chest and on you. So yeah, I would 100% recommend a carrier. I've recently only got one and I absolutely love it. I don't know why I didn't get one sooner. The one that I have is from Baby Born, I think that's how you pronounce it. I got it from Mamas and Papas. I'll link it below. It was £85, but so worth it, honestly. Again, if it's going to be your second or third child, I would 100% recommend a carrier. Especially when they're being really clingy as well. You can just pop them in and you're able to make like dinner and you can get stuff done around the house. So yeah, I would recommend a baby carrier. So while I was editing, I realised I completely forgot to mention a grow bag and blankets. Grow bags are great because babies, they wriggle around and you haven't got to worry about them wriggling underneath a blanket, or if they're too hot, too cold, you can just put them in a grow bag. I'm personally using a 2.5 tog at the moment because it's middle of October and it's very chilly. But yeah, this one's just from Tesco's, but you can get all different brands. Just make sure you get a reputable brand one and not one from like a Wish or eBay. Get like a proper one because it's safer. So yeah, these are great, and you just know your baby is going to be warm. They're not going to get too cold, they're not going to get too hot. You can get different togs, but like I said, this is the 2.5 one, but you can also get a 1 tog, a 1.5 tog. And obviously your baby is going to need a blanket. In Nike, when Chase was in Nike, they actually said that they recommend the cellular blankets. I like these ones anyway, especially if you have a baby in the summer. They are breathable and you can layer them up, and it just helps the air circulate around them a little bit more to stop them from overheating. They don't recommend you use fleecy blankets on a newborn. So yeah, these are great. I've got a couple of these, and like I said, they can be layered up, and yeah, it just stops them from overheating. So that is everything I feel like is essential for newborns. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure you give this video a big thumbs up, hit the red button below to subscribe, and I'll see you all in my next one. Bye guys.
I won't make it easy for you now. You got 2 minutes of my time, and I don't really break too easily, but I'm worth it, 'cause I'll slip